So we are here with plant classification and herbarium techniques. This is our famous scientist Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, that we all know. If you deal with plant classification, Carolus Linnaeus is playing a great role. So what is the importance of plant classification? It is to make study and to know the relationship between the plants. It is very important. So when we go to the importance of plant classification, we need to arrange the plants in systematic manner, and we need to understand it very easily and efficiently. So we should through plant classification you will get an information and knowledge about the plants, the arrangement, the data of the plants. Okay, so we could also find a genetic relationship, that is evolutionary relationship, ancestor relationship, and how is the origin of plants take place. So and also we could understand about the distribution and habitat of the plant, which location the plant has been collected, and that all details is very important for upcoming scientists or the botanists to know about the plant. Okay, so there are different types of classification: artificial classification, natural classification, and phylogenetic classification. Artificial system is by Carolus Linnaeus, natural by our natural system is by Bentham and Hooker, and phylogenetic is by Igler and Frank. Okay, so from artificial system, it is being published in our Father of Systematic Botany by Carolus Linnaeus, and it is based upon non-evolutionary features like we have our grouping of plants according to the number and situation of stamens, styles, and stigma. So we have 24 classes, and here is a list of 24 classes. This is depending upon there is only one stamen we are calling as monoandria, two stamen is diandria. If we have didynamia, that is a didynamous condition, so it's a didynamia. Tetradynamous condition, tetradynamia. So if it is a monoecious plant, it's a monoecia. Dioecious plant, it is a dioecia. So that is all about, and it's a cryptogamia, it's non-flowering plants, and cryptograms, which include algae, fungi, moss, and then ferns. Okay, so this is about 24 classes of artificial system. Merit is it is very quick and easy for identification of the plant characters, but the demerit is it is the information provided is very limited, and the difference of the same species is very difficult to identify. The closely related species move apart, and distantly related comes closer, and it's very difficult to identify the species variety level, and monocots, dicots, and gymnosperms are not considered separately. So there is a close relationship between dicots and monocots, so that is not possible. So this is a demerit. And when we come to the phylogenetic system, Igler and Pran system, here it is described as a transitional phylogenetic system, and this classification was done by Igler and Pran. They have taken more on to the anatomical features. They have taken into account of anatomical features, and here you could see in America and continental herbaria, here you could see the sequence, the plant is arranged based upon anatomical features, and you could see that they are arranged in increasing order of flower complexity and fruit and seed development. And in the system, the Igler and Pran has divided it into 13 division, and the 13 division is that the 1 to 12 division from bacteria to pteridophytes, that is a lower division, and highly advanced is the 13 division, that is embryophyta. And this embryophyta has been classified into gymnosperms and angiosperms, and angiosperms is again classified into monocotyledons and dicotyledons, and dicotyledons has been again divided into archichlamydia and metachlamydia, and this is the way how they have classified the division. The highly advanced form, our embryophyta, where gymnosperms and angiosperms are seen as subdivision. Okay, so this is about the classification, and this is the short overview of that advanced system of classification of gymnosperms and angiosperms, and how angiosperms are being classified and how they are being divided. Okay, so what are the merits of this? The merits of this means they are being classified according to the evolutionary relationship. So here you could see modern taxonomic key for the identification of these plants. The gymnosperms are completely separated, and angiosperms position is very accurate, and we could see that Asteraceae is a plant which is found across cosmopolitan distribution, and is having highly evolved family of dicots. But the orchids are coming under monocots, and they are being most evolved family of monocots. Okay, so here this is for the first time anatomical features are being taken for the classification, but the demerit is that the monocots considered primitive to dicots, and they have no much relationship with modern evolutionary evidence. So only primitive flowers concept, that is unisexual, are being considered more when compared to the bisexuals. And the combining of apetalae with polypetalae is another ridiculous factor, that is apetalae is given more importance, okay, and it is being mixed with polypetalae and it's not desirable, and this system is not at all practical in utility. So now we'll come to the natural system, we'll deal later. So what is ICBN? ICBN is the international code for botanical nomenclature. There is a set of rules and recommendations for the naming of plant, and it is so the plant can be correctly named and it is accepted worldwide. So that is about the salient features of ICBN. What are the salient features? This generic name is singular. The first letter of the generic name should be in capital letter. See, this is the capital letter. Oryza sativa. O is being written in capital. This is rice, and specific epithet species name should be in it should be in small letters, and it should be the naming of the plant should be very short and precise, and it should be written in italics. If it is not written in italics, you should separately underline it. That is the way you are going to write this, and the abbreviation of the author should be after specific epithet. See, Linnaeus dot. It should be the author citation. The author who found this plant should be written in what this abbreviated form. If it is a bracketed author, then you could say that this plant, Ocimum sanctum, was discovered or was being found by Robert Hooke. BR is written in bracket. First preference is given to the bracketed ones, and then comes the Linnaeus. So this is about author citation, and if it is it is given EX in between two authors. EX means there is the first one, the Linnaeus who found on Ocimum sanctum is not apt, but another study was done by Robert Brown, and he could find more features of Ocimum sanctum. So we could write L dot EX R dot BR. That is also written. So this is how we are going to write about the author citation. And now when we find a new plant and you are giving a lot of descriptions, an original plant material that is being submitted in the herbarium, and this is another type of specimen or typification we are calling it as. And there are different types of typification or type specimens, and this is, if the generic and specific name is same, we are calling as tautonym. Okay, if they are generic and specific name are same, we are calling as tautonym. So this is very ideal way of naming the plant. And now we will move to the another topic, that is chemotaxonomy and cytotaxonomy. So in chemotaxonomy, chemical constants of plant is being taken into consideration, and cytotaxonomy, you could see the chromosome characters. See here you could see anaphase. This is the anaphase, and you could see the metaphase, and initial stages also you could see, and how the arrangement of chromosome has been. On this basis you could categorize the plant. On the chemical basis also you could categorize the plant, and using our along with our chromosome pattern also you could classify the plant. This is how we are classifying the chemotaxonomy and this all about. And today in our class we have learned about the classification system, that is artificial, natural and phylogenetic, and also chemotaxonomy and cytotaxonomy. So artificial is only based upon the morphological features, and it is run by Linnaeus system, and natural is based upon the anatomy, embryology and phytochemistry, Bentham and Hooker, and phylogeny is based upon the evolutionary Hutchinson and Egerl and Prant only we have discussed so far. So this is about our classification, and hope it is very clear for you, the classification, and you have